The city was dying. Smoke rose from broken buildings that once touched the sky. Fire burned in places where families used to live. The streets were empty except for the rubble and the silence that came after war. Dr. Junho walked carefully through the ruins. His white medical suit was covered in dust and ash. He carried a heavy bag filled with supplies and equipment. Behind him, the shuttle that brought him here waited among the destroyed buildings. The pilot had told him to hurry. This place was not safe anymore. Junho was not a soldier. He was a doctor. He worked for the Terran Relief Corps, a human organization that helped people caught in wars they did not start. For 3 years, he had traveled to broken worlds, treating wounds that weapons made. He had seen too much death. But he kept going because someone had to care. The scanner in his hand beeped softly. It detected life signs somewhere nearby. Junho followed the signal through collapsed walls and twisted metal. The war between the Krell Dominion and the Thaxar Collective had turned this peaceful planet into a graveyard. The people who lived here, the Veletians, had done nothing wrong. They were just in the way. The scanner led him to a half-collapsed shelter. The door was missing. Inside it was dark except for a thin beam of light coming through a crack in the ceiling. Junho turned on his helmet light and stepped inside carefully. That was when he saw them. A small child crouched in the corner, holding a piece of sharp metal in his thin hands. The child's skin was pale blue, almost white in the dim light. His eyes were large and dark, filled with fear that no child should ever know. He was protecting something behind him. Junho's heart sank when he saw the mother. She was lying on the ground, breathing in short, painful gasps. Dark blood stained the floor beneath her. Her injuries were severe. Energy weapon burns covered her side. She did not have much time left. Junho slowly raised his hands to show he was not a threat. He took a small step forward. The child immediately raised his makeshift weapon higher. His whole body was shaking, but his eyes were fierce. "I am a doctor," Junho said softly in Universal Basic, the common language used for trade and diplomacy. "I want to help your mother." The child did not lower his weapon. He had probably never seen a human before. Junho's species was new to this part of the galaxy. The boy had no reason to trust him. Junho pointed to the medical symbol on his suit. He pulled out his scanner and held it up, showing it to the child. "This is a tool that finds injuries. It does not hurt. I need to check your mother." The child's eyes moved from Junho to the scanner and back again. His small voice came out as a whisper, broken and desperate. "Will your tools be kinder than their swords?" The question hit Junho like a physical blow. This child had only known technology as something that destroyed. The advanced weapons that fell from the sky and killed his people. The machines that burned his city. To this boy, all tools were weapons. Junho felt tears sting his eyes, but he held them back. He slowly knelt down, making himself smaller and less threatening. He removed his helmet and set it aside. Now the child could see his face clearly. "Just a man. Just another person trying to help, yes," Junho said quietly. "My tools are kind. They heal, they save. I promise you." The mother made a weak sound. The child looked back at her, panic clear on his face. He was losing her. He knew it. Junho knew it too. "Please," Junho said. "Let me try. If I do anything that hurts her, you can tell me to stop. But please let me try." Time seemed to stop. The child looked at his dying mother, then at the strange human with his strange tools. Finally, with a sob that broke Junho's heart, the boy lowered his weapon. His hand shook as he pointed at his mother. "Help her," he whispered. "Please help her." Junho moved quickly but carefully. He activated his scanner and moved it over the mother's body. The readings appeared on his helmet display, which he had placed where both he and the child could see it. He wanted the boy to understand what he was doing. "My name is Junho," he said as he worked, keeping his voice calm and steady. "What is your name?" "Rin," the child whispered. "Rin, that is a good name. Your mother is very hurt, but I am going to help her." Junho pulled out a stabilization unit from his bag. "This device will help her breathe easier and stop the pain. Watch. I will show you each thing before I use it." He demonstrated the device in his own hand first. A soft blue light glowed from it. Then, with Rin watching closely, he placed it on the mother's chest. Within seconds, her breathing became less labored. The lines of pain on her face relaxed slightly. Rin's eyes went wide. He looked at Junho with something new. Not trust yet, but hope. Junho worked quickly. He injected synthetic blood to replace what she had lost. He applied biofoam to seal the worst of her wounds. He used everything in his kit, Every piece of technology designed not to harm but to heal. And with each tool, each device, Rin watched, learning, understanding. I have a daughter, Junho said as he worked. Back on Earth, she is about your age. Her name is Sumi. She likes to draw pictures of stars. He did not know why he shared this, maybe to remind himself why he did this work, maybe to show Rin that he was not just a stranger but a father who understood. What are stars? Rin asked quietly. Junho paused. Of course. They were underground in this shelter. This child had been hiding from the war. He might not have seen the night sky in weeks or months. Stars are beautiful lights in the sky, Junho said. When this is over, when your mother is better, I will show you the stars. I promise. Rin's mother, whose name Junho learned was Asha, remained unconscious but stable. Hunyo had done what he could with the equipment he had. But she needed more. She needed a real medical facility with proper xenobiology support. Junho activated his communicator. This is Field Medic Junho. I have 2 Valesian civilians. 1 critical. Requesting immediate evacuation and surgical support. The response crackled through. Confirmed, Junho. Medical team incoming. Hana is on approach with emergency equipment. Hold position. Junho looked at Rin and gave him a tired smile. Help is coming. More humans who want to save your mother. Is that okay? Rin nodded slowly. Then he did something unexpected. He reached out and touched Junho's hand. His small fingers were cold and trembling. Your tools are kind, the child whispered. Thank you. Outside, the war still raged. Weapons still fired. Buildings still fell. But in this small shelter, surrounded by death and destruction, a human doctor had answered a child's question, not with words alone, but with action, with compassion, with tools designed not to destroy, but to heal. And perhaps, Junho thought, that was what the galaxy needed most. Not more weapons. Not more warriors. Just people willing to help even when it was dangerous, even when it was hard. The sound of approaching engines echoed through the ruins. Help was arriving. Rin held his mother's hand and watched the entrance, no longer afraid. He had learned something important today. Sometimes tools could indeed be kinder than swords. The sound of engines grew louder. Rin pressed himself against the wall, his body tense again. Unyo understood. Every loud sound, every machine in the sky had meant danger for this child. He could not blame the boy for being scared. It is okay, Junho said softly. That is my friend. Her name is Hana. She is a doctor too, a very good one. The shuttle landed outside the shelter. Unyo heard footsteps approaching quickly but carefully. A moment later, a woman appeared in the doorway. She wore the same white medical suit as Junho, but her helmet was already off. Her face was kind but serious. She carried 2 large cases of equipment. Junho, Hana said, then stopped when she saw Rin. She immediately knelt down, making herself small like Junho had done. She smiled gently. Hello, I am Hana. I am here to help. Rin looked at Junho, who nodded. The boy remained quiet but did not reach for his metal weapon again. That was progress. Hana moved to Asha and quickly scanned her with her own equipment. Her expression grew serious. Internal bleeding. Organ damage. The energy burns go deep. She looked at Junho. We need to operate now or we will lose her. Here? Hunyo asked. We have no choice. The medical ship is too far. She will not survive the journey in this condition. Hana was already opening her cases, pulling out surgical equipment. I need you to assist. We can do this. Rin watched with wide eyes as the 2 humans set up their portable surgical station. They worked together smoothly, like they had done this many times before. And they had, on dozens of worlds, in hundreds of emergencies. Saving lives was what they did, but this was different. Asha was Valesian. Human doctors did not know much about Valesian biology. They had basic information from trade databases, but not enough for complex surgery. This would be dangerous. Hana seemed to read Junho's thoughts. We learn as we go, like always. She looked at Rin. I need to ask you some questions about your mother, about your people. Can you help me? Rin nodded slowly. Where does it hurt when you get sick? Hana asked, pointing to her own stomach. Rin pointed to a similar area on his own body. Good. The basic layout was similar to humans. When you breathe, does it feel like this? Hana demonstrated taking a deep breath. Rin copied her movement. Also similar. Hana asked several more questions, each one helping her understand Valesian biology a little better. Rin answered each one, his fear slowly being replaced by curiosity. These humans were not like the others who came with weapons. They asked questions. They listened. They cared. "Thank you, Rin," Hana said. "You are very brave. Now I need to work on your mother. It might look scary, but I promise we are helping her. Hunho will explain everything we do, okay?" Rin nodded and moved to sit where he could see but not be in the way. The surgery began. Junyo assisted while explaining each step to Rin in simple words. The anesthesia to make Asha sleep. The scanner to see inside her body. The laser scalpel that cut precisely and carefully. The synthetic tissue patches that would help her heal. "Why do you do this?" Rin asked after a while. His voice was small but clear. "You are not Valesian. This is not your war. Why do you help us?" Hana did not look up from her work, but she answered, "Because you need help. That is enough reason. But you could die here," Rin said. "The war is still happening. Bombs still fall." "Yes," Junho said. "That is true. But if we do not help, who will? We cannot make the war stop. But we can save the people caught in it." Rin was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke again, his voice filled with a sadness too deep for a child. "Before the war, my mother was an artist. She made beautiful things with light and color. Our whole family did. We created art for celebrations and ceremonies. We never hurt anyone." Junho felt his throat tighten. "Tell me about the art," he said, wanting to give Rin something else to think about. Rin's face brightened a little. "We can make light come from our hands, see?" He held up his palms and slowly a soft blue glow appeared on his skin. It was beautiful, delicate. It pulsed gently like a heartbeat. "That is amazing," Junho said honestly. "My mother can make pictures with her light. Stories. She made me a story about the first sunrise, about hope." Rin's glow faded. But then the war came. The Krell said our planet was theirs. The Thaxar said it belonged to them. Nobody asked us. Nobody cared what we wanted. Hana worked steadily, her hands moving with practiced skill. "How long have you been hiding?" "Many days. Maybe weeks. I do not know anymore." Rin looked down. "We were going to the evacuation ships. But the bombs came. Mother pushed me into this shelter. She was hurt protecting me." "She loves you very much," Junho said. "I know," Rin whispered. "That is why she cannot die. She is all I have left. Father died in the first attacks. My sister too. Everyone else is gone." The shelter fell silent except for the soft sounds of medical equipment. Junyo and Hana exchanged glances. This child had lost everything. His world. His family. His future. And still he had found the courage to ask if their tools would be kind. "We will not let her die," Hana said firmly. "I promise you, Rin, we will fight for her." Hours passed. The surgery was difficult. Asha's biology was similar enough to human to work with, but different enough to be challenging. Several times her vital signs dropped dangerously low. Each time Hana adjusted and adapted, using her knowledge and instinct to keep Asha alive. Junho watched his colleague work with admiration. Hana had seen more war than anyone should. She had lost her own child to illness years ago before joining the Relief Corps. She never talked about it, but Junho knew. He knew she carried that pain every day, and he knew that pain drove her to save every life she could. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Hana stepped back. She was exhausted. Sweat covered her face, but she was smiling. "She is stable," Hana announced. "The bleeding is stopped. The organs are repaired. She needs rest and recovery, but she will live." Rin stood up so fast he almost fell, his eyes filled with tears. "Really? She will live?" "Really," Hana confirmed. She knelt down and opened her arms. Without hesitation, Rin ran to her and hugged her tightly. He sobbed into her shoulder, all the fear and pain and relief pouring out at once. Hana held him gently, her own eyes wet. "You are safe now. Both of you. I promise." Junho checked Asha's vitals one more time. Everything looked good. She would need more care, but the crisis was over. They had saved her. His communicator beeped. "Junho, this is Captain Minji on the Compassion. We are tracking multiple hostile movements in your area. You need to evacuate immediately." Junho's blood went cold. "Copy that, Captain. We have one post-operative patient. We need careful transport." "Understood. Security team is being dispatched to your location. Sergeant Doyen will escort you to the shuttle. Ita 6 minutes. Get ready to move." Junho looked at Hana. 6 minutes. They needed to prepare Asha for transport without undoing all the work they had just done. It would be close, Rin, Junho said. We need to leave this place. It is not safe anymore. We will take you and your mother to our ship in space. We have a hospital there. Is that okay? Rin nodded quickly. Yes, anywhere is better than here. The two doctors worked fast, stabilizing Asha for transport. They connected her to portable life support and secured her on an anti-gravity stretcher. Rin stayed close, holding his mother's hand. Outside, they heard explosions in the distance. The war was getting closer. Yunyo packed their equipment as quickly as possible. Every second counted. The sound of running footsteps approached. Sergeant Doyen appeared with 4 other security personnel. They wore combat armor but carried their weapons low and ready, not threatening. Doyen was a big man with a calm face. Doctors, he greeted them quickly. We need to move now. The Krell are advancing from the east. The Thaxar from the west. This area will be a battlefield in minutes. Lead the way, Hana said. They moved out into the ruins. Rin walked between Junho and Hana, protected on all sides. The security team formed a perimeter around them. Asha floated on the stretcher, still unconscious but stable. Above them, the sky lit up with weapons fire. Rin flinched at every explosion, but he kept moving. He trusted these humans now. They had proven their kindness. The shuttle was close. Just a few more minutes. They could make it. Then everything went wrong. A massive explosion shook the ground. Rin screamed and stumbled. Yunyo caught him before he fell. Ahead of them, a building collapsed directly onto the path to their shuttle. Dust and debris filled the air, making it hard to breathe and see. Alternate route, Sergeant Doyen shouted. Follow me! The group changed direction, moving through a different section of ruins. The explosions were getting closer. The two alien armies were closing in on each other, and the humans were caught in the middle. Doyen led them through a collapsed marketplace. Old stalls lay broken on the ground. Rin whimpered as they passed what used to be his favorite food vendor. Everything he knew was destroyed. Hana stayed close to Asha's stretcher, constantly checking her vitals. The stress of movement was not good for a post-operative patient, but they had no choice. Stop moving and they would die. A weapon blast hit a wall near them. Rocks exploded outward. One of the security team members took a hit to his shoulder but kept moving. Contact east. Another guard shouted. Junho looked and saw them. Krell soldiers. They were massive creatures covered in thick scales like armor. They carried plasma rifles that glowed hot. The soldiers were advancing through the ruins, firing at anything that moved. Do not engage, Doyen ordered his team. We are medical and security only. Keep the civilians safe. The human security team activated their shield generators. Blue energy barriers appeared, protecting the group. The Krell weapons fire hit the shields and dispersed harmlessly. The Krell soldiers seemed surprised. They had not expected resistance. One of the Krell warriors stepped forward and spoke in Universal Basic. His voice was deep and harsh. Humans, you are in a war zone. Leave or die. Doyen stepped forward, keeping his weapon lowered. We are Terran Relief Corps. We are neutral. We are evacuating wounded civilians. There are no civilians in war, the Krell said. Only enemies and allies. You are neither. You are in the way. Then let us pass, Doyen said calmly. We want no fight with you. The Krell warrior laughed. It was an ugly sound. Weak humans. You have weapons, but do not use them. You have strength, but waste it on the dying. Your species will not last long in this galaxy. Rin pressed against Junho's side. The doctor could feel the boy shaking with fear. These were the creatures that destroyed his world. That killed his family. Before Doyen could respond, more weapons fire came from the west. The Thaxar had arrived. They were insect-like creatures, quick and coordinated. They moved in perfect formation, their weapons buzzing as they fired. Now the humans were trapped between two armies. Shield wall, Doyen commanded. His team moved instantly, forming a protective circle around the doctors and civilians. Their shields overlapped, creating a complete barrier. The Krell and Thaxar began fighting each other, but their weapons still hit the human shields. The energy barriers held, but Junho could see the power levels dropping on the guards' displays. We cannot stay here, Hana said urgently. Asha will not survive much longer without proper care. Junho activated his emergency beacon. This is Field Medic Junho to any Terran forces. We need immediate extraction. We are trapped between hostile forces with critical patients. The response came quickly. It was Captain Minji herself.
Junho, I see your position. Hold on.
Help is coming. How long? Kunio asked. 3 minutes. 3 minutes might as well be 3 hours. The fighting around them was getting worse. The Krell and Thaxar were fully engaged now, using heavy weapons. The human shields would not last much longer. Rin was crying silently, his face pressed against Junho's side. The doctor held him close with one arm while using the other to keep checking Asha's vitals. She was stable, but barely. Then Junho heard it, a sound that made his heart soar with hope. The deep thrumming of military-grade engines. Not the small shuttle that brought them here. Something much bigger. 3 Terran defense ships dropped from the sky. They were sleek and powerful, their hulls gleaming even in the smoke and dust. They positioned themselves above the trapped humans, their presence impossible to ignore. A voice boomed across the battlefield in multiple languages. "This is the Terran Defense Force. You are firing on medical personnel and civilians. Cease fire immediately." The Krell and Thaxar kept fighting. They did not take orders from humans. What happened next shocked everyone. The Terran ships activated a technology that Junho had heard about but never seen. A suppression field. An invisible wave of energy washed over the entire area. Every weapon stopped working. Krell plasma rifles went dark. Thaxar energy weapons died. Even the explosions in the distance stopped, but the human shields kept working. The medical equipment kept running. Only weapons were affected. Silence fell over the battlefield. Hundreds of soldiers from 2 armies stood frozen, their weapons useless. They looked up at the human ships with confusion and anger. The voice spoke again. "We have disabled all weapons in this area. They will remain disabled until we leave. We are evacuating wounded civilians. Anyone who interferes will face direct action. This is your only warning." One of the Terran ships landed near the human group. The boarding ramp lowered. "Come on," Doyen shouted. "Move, move!" The humans rushed toward the ship. The Krell and Thaxar soldiers could only watch, their weapons dead in their hands. Some looked angry. Some looked confused. A few looked impressed. As they reached the ramp, the Krell warrior who had spoken earlier shouted at them. "Why do you have such power but use it only to defend? You could conquer this planet. Conquer the system. Why do you waste your strength on the weak?"
Doyen paused at the top of the ramp.
He looked back at the warrior. "Because we remember what it was like to be weak. We remember what it was like to need help that never came. We will not be that species. We will not look away." Then they were inside. The ramp closed. The ship lifted off smoothly. Through the viewports, Junho could see the battlefield shrinking below them. As soon as the Terran ships cleared the area, the suppression field ended. Weapons activated again. The fighting resumed, but the humans were safe. And so were Asha and Rin. Inside the ship, medical personnel rushed to take over Asha's care. Rin did not want to let go of his mother's hand, but a kind nurse named Yunji knelt beside him. "She will be okay," Yunji said gently. "We are taking her to our big hospital in space. It has everything she needs. But you must let the doctors work. Come with me. I will show you where you can rest." Rin looked at Junho, uncertain. "Go with Yunji," Junho said. "She will take good care of you. I promise. I will come see you soon." Rin nodded slowly and took Yunji's hand. As they walked away, Junho heard the boy ask, "What is a hospital in space?" Yunji smiled. "It is called the Compassion. It is a very special place." The ship accelerated upward, breaking through the atmosphere. Space opened before them, black and filled with stars. And there, orbiting the wounded planet, was the medical ship. It was massive. Much larger than any military vessel. It had to be to hold thousands of patients and refugees. Its hull was pure white, marked with the red medical symbol that every species recognized. Rows of windows glowed with warm light. This was not a ship built for war. It was built for hope. As they approached, Junho could see dozens of smaller ships coming and going. Shuttles bringing in wounded, transport vessels delivering supplies, even some alien ships bringing their own injured to the one place in this war zone where everyone was treated equally. The Compassion. The pride of the Terran Relief Corps. Junho had served on this ship for 2 years. He knew every corridor, every medical bay, every face. It was home. And now it would be home for Rin and Asha too, at least for a while. The ship docked smoothly. The medical team rushed Asha to surgery immediately. She needed more work, more care than Hana could provide in the field. But she was alive. That was what mattered. Junho found Rin in the children's ward an hour later. The boy was sitting on a bed, clean and wearing fresh clothes. Someone had given him food, though he had barely touched it. He was staring out the large window at the planet below. "She is in surgery," Junho said, sitting beside him. "The best doctors we have are taking care of her." "Will she wake up?" Rin asked quietly. "Yes, I think she will. Hana did good work. Now the surgeons will finish what she started." Rin was quiet for a long moment. Then he asked, "Why did those ships have such powerful technology but only use it to protect?" The Krell warrior was right. You could have destroyed both armies easily. Junho looked out at the planet, at the fires still burning on its surface. "A long time ago, humans were like the Krell and the Thaxar. We fought each other with terrible weapons. We almost destroyed ourselves. Millions died. Our planet almost became lifeless, and what stopped you?" Rin asked. We learned that having power means nothing if you use it wrong. We learned that the strongest species is not the one with the biggest weapons. It is the one that knows when not to fight." Junho smiled sadly. "We learned the hard way. Many died teaching us that lesson. We will not forget it." Rin looked up at him with those large, dark eyes. "So you help everyone now? Even people you do not know?" "Yes, even when it is dangerous. Especially when it is dangerous, because that is when help is needed most." Rin leaned against Junho's side, exhausted. "I am glad you came to my planet. I am glad your tools were kind." Junho put his arm around the boy. "Me too, Rin, me too." Outside the window, the stars shone bright and endless. And on the planet below, the war continued. But here on this ship, there was Perrin woke to soft light and gentle sounds. For a moment, he forgot where he was. Then he remembered. The human ship. The compassion. He sat up quickly, looking around the room. He was in a small but comfortable bed. The walls were white and clean. A large window showed the stars outside. Other beds filled the room, and in them were other children. Not humans, other species. All refugees like him. A human woman noticed he was awake. She wore the white uniform of a medical worker. She smiled and came over to his bed. "Good morning, Rin," she said. "I am Nurse Yunji. Do you remember me from yesterday?" Rin nodded slowly. "My mother." She is out of surgery," Yunji said quickly. "She is resting. The operation went very well. Would you like to see her?" "Yes." Rin jumped out of bed so fast he got tangled in the blanket. Yunji laughed gently and helped him. "Come on then." "But you must be quiet. She is still sleeping." Yunji led him through the corridors of the ship. Rin stared at everything. He had never seen anything like this place. It was huge, clean, organized. Medical personnel moved with purpose but without rushing. There was a sense of calm that seemed impossible in the middle of a war. They passed rooms filled with wounded beings. Rin saw Krell warriors on medical beds, their scales being treated by human doctors. He saw Thaxar soldiers getting their damaged limbs repaired. He even saw his own people, Velicians, being cared for by humans who barely understood their biology. "You help everyone," Rin said, amazed. "Even the soldiers who fight each other." "Everyone who comes here is a patient," Yunji said. "Not a soldier, not an enemy, just someone who needs help. That is our only rule." They reached a room with a window in the door. Through it, Rin could see his mother. She was lying in a clean bed connected to machines that beeped softly. Her chest rose and fell steadily. She was alive. "Can I go in?" Rin asked. "Of course. But remember, she needs rest. Talk to her softly." Rin entered quietly. He walked to his mother's side and took her hand. It was warm. The machines showed steady vital signs. All the numbers were in what Yunji said was the healthy range. "Mother," Rin whispered, "I am here. The humans saved you. They saved us both." Asha did not wake, but her hand seemed to squeeze his slightly. Maybe she could hear him. Rin stayed with her for a long time. Yunji brought him food and let him eat in the room. Other medical staff came to check on Asha, but they moved quietly and did not disturb Rin. They understood he needed to be near his mother. Later, Dr. Taewon came to visit. He was older than Junho, with kind eyes and gray hair. He carried a datapad and wore a smile. "Hello, Rin," he said. "I am the doctor who operated on your mother. I wanted to tell you that everything went perfectly. Her organs are healing. The injuries are mending. She should wake in a day or two." "Thank you," Rin said. "Thank you for saving her." "It is what we do," Taewon said. He sat down in a chair near the bed. "Your mother is strong. She fought hard to stay alive, and you were brave to protect her. Not many children could do what you did. Rin looked down. I was very scared. Being brave does not mean not being scared. It means doing what must be done even when you are scared. They sat in comfortable silence for a while. Then Rin asked, Dr. Taewon, why do you learn about alien bodies? It must be very hard. Taewon smiled. It is hard, but it is also wonderful. Every species is different. Every biology is unique. Learning about them helps me save lives. That makes all the difficulty worth it. Have you saved many aliens? Rin asked. Hundreds, maybe thousands. I stopped counting years ago. Taewon looked at Asha. Each one matters. Each life is precious. Over the next few days, Rin explored the Compassion with Yoonji as his guide. The ship was enormous. It had medical bays for different species, each one equipped with specialized equipment. It had research labs where doctors studied alien biology. It had recreation areas where patients could rest and heal. But most amazing of all was the children's ward. Yoonji brought Rin there on his second day. It was a large, bright room filled with toys and activities. But more importantly, it was filled with children from dozens of species. All of them were refugees from the war. We have over 200 children on the ship right now, Yoonji explained. Some are orphans. Some are waiting for their parents to recover from injuries. All of them need care and safety. Rin saw a small Krell child, barely past hatching age. Human workers were teaching it to eat soft foods. He saw Thaxar younglings learning to communicate with translation devices. He saw Veletian children like himself, all lost and scared but slowly beginning to hope again. Play with them, Yoonji encouraged. Make friends. It will help you feel better. Rin was nervous, but he approached a group of children who were drawing with light pens on electronic tablets. They looked up at him and made space in their circle. No words were needed. They were all the same here. All refugees, all survivors. One of the children, a small being with soft fur and large eyes, handed Rin a light pen. Rin took it and began to draw. His hand started to glow with his natural Velesian light. The other children watched in amazement. That is beautiful, one of them said through a translator. Rin smiled. For the first time since the war began, he felt something like happiness. That evening, Yoonji sat with Rin in the common area. Other children played around them. Human staff watched over everyone with gentle attention. Yoonji, Rin asked quietly, why do you work with children? It must make you sad to see them hurt. Yoonji was quiet for a moment. Her smile faded slightly. I had a son once. His name was Minho. He was your age. What happened to him? Rin asked. He got sick, very sick. Even with all our medicine, all our technology, we could not save him. Yoonji's eyes were wet. I was so angry, so sad. I did not know how to keep living. I am sorry, Rin said softly. Thank you. Yoonji wiped her eyes. After Minho died, I thought I would never be happy again. But then I joined the Relief Corps. I started helping other children. And I realized something. I could not save my son, but I could save others. Every child I help is a way to honor his memory. Rin reached out and took her hand. He would be proud of you. Yoonji squeezed his hand. You are a wise child, Rin. Your mother raised you well. On the third day, something wonderful happened. Rin was drawing with the other children when Dr. Junho came to find him. Rin, Junho said with a big smile, your mother is awake. She is asking for you. Rin dropped his light pen and ran. Yunyo laughed and followed him. They raced through the corridors to Asha's room. Rin burst through the door. Mother! Asha was sitting up in bed. She was still weak, still connected to some machines, but her eyes were open and clear. When she saw Rin, tears ran down her face. My son, she whispered. Rin climbed onto the bed and hugged her carefully. Afraid to hurt her, Asha held him close, crying with joy and relief. I thought I lost you, she said. I thought we would both die in that shelter. The humans saved us, Rin said. They have tools that heal. Good tools. Kind tools. Asha looked up at Junho, who stood quietly in the doorway. You are the doctor who found us? Yes, Junho said. I am Dr. Junho. I am happy to see you awake. Thank you, Asha said. Her voice was thick with emotion. Thank you for saving my son. For saving me. How can I ever repay you? You do not need to repay us, Junho said. We help because it is right. That is enough. Asha shook her head in wonder. Your species is strange. You have such power, but you use it for others. The Krell and Thaxar use their power to take and destroy, but you use yours to give and heal. We learned the hard way, Junho said. We made many mistakes before we understood. Now we try to do better. Over the following days, Asha grew stronger. The human doctors reduced her medications. They removed the machines one by one. She started eating normal food again, and every day Rin stayed by her side, telling her about the ship, the other children, and the humans who saved them. One afternoon, Dr. Taewon came to examine Asha. He brought his data pad and checked all her vital signs. "You are healing remarkably well," he said. "Your species has impressive regenerative abilities. Combined with our medicine, you should make a full recovery." "When can we go home?" Rin asked. The room fell silent. Taewon and Junho exchanged glances. Asha pulled Rin close. "Our home is gone, my son," she said softly. "The city is destroyed. Most of our people are dead or scattered, but where will we go?" Rin asked, his voice small. "We have refugee settlements," Junho said gently. "Safe places where survivors can live until the war ends. Or you can stay here on the Compassion. We always need help with the other patients. Many refugees choose to work with us." Asha looked around the clean, peaceful room. "You would let us stay? Even though we are not human?" "This ship does not belong to only humans," Junho said. "It belongs to everyone who needs healing. Everyone who needs hope. You're welcome here as long as you wish." That night, Rin stood at the large window in the children's ward. Other kids were sleeping in their beds. Outside, stars filled the endless dark. Somewhere down there was his planet, still burning with war. But up here there was peace. Yoonji found him there. "Cannot sleep?" she asked. "I was thinking," Rin said. "When I grow up, I want to be like you. Like Dr. Junho and Dr. Taewon. I want to help people." "That is a good dream," Yoonji said. "The humans taught me something," Rin continued. The Captain Minji stood on the bridge of the Compassion, looking at the holographic displays that surrounded her. Each screen showed different information. Injured patients coming in, supply levels dropping, and most worrying of all, the two massive fleets moving closer to each other. The war was escalating. "Captain," her communications officer said, "we are receiving transmission requests from both the Krell Dominion and the Thaxar Collective. They want to speak with you, together." Minji felt her stomach tighten. When both sides wanted to talk at the same time, it usually meant trouble. "Put them through." Two holographic figures appeared before her. On the left was Commander Vorgath of the Krell. He was massive, covered in dark scales with eyes like burning coals. On the right was Ambassador Ixthera of the Thaxar. She was insectoid with multiple limbs and compound eyes that glittered in the light. "Captain Minji," Vorgath rumbled, "you have been operating in this war zone for too long. It is time to choose a side. Or leave." Ixthera added, her voice clicking and precise. "Your neutrality is no longer acceptable. This conflict will reach its conclusion soon. You must decide where you stand." Minji kept her expression calm, though her heart raced. "The Terran Relief Corps stands with the wounded and the innocent. We do not choose sides in wars. We choose life." Pretty words, Vorgath sneered, but meaningless. War does not care about your ideals. Soon this entire sector will be a battlefield. Your hospital ship will be destroyed if you remain. "We are not leaving," Minji said firmly. "There are still millions of civilians on the planet below who need help. Volitions who have done nothing wrong. We will not abandon them." Ixthera's mandibles clicked in what might have been laughter. "How noble. How pointless. The Valesians are irrelevant to this conflict. They are casualties of progress. Their planet has strategic value. They do not." "Every life has value," Minji said, her voice sharp. "That is something your species seem to have forgotten." Vorgath's eyes flared with anger. "Watch your tone, human. Your species is young and weak. You have been in space for less than a century. We have been waging war for thousands of years. Do not presume to lecture us." "Then perhaps," Minji said coldly, "it is time you learned something new." She gestured and the holographic display changed. Now both commanders could see footage from the Compassion. Wounded Krell soldiers being treated by human doctors. Injured Thaxar warriors having their limbs repaired. Valesian families being cared for. All in the same facility. "We have treated over 15,000 patients from your forces," Minji said. "Soldiers you left behind. Wounded you abandoned. We did not ask which side they fought for. We did not ask if they were enemies. We asked only if they needed help." Vorgath was silent, staring at the images of his own warriors being healed. Ixthera tilted her head. Why waste resources on enemy soldiers?" "Because they are people," Minji said simply. Because someone who is wounded is no longer a soldier. They are a patient. And we help patients. Weakness, Vorgath spat. But his voice lacked its earlier conviction. Is it? Minji asked. You call us weak, yet we possess technology that disabled all weapons in an entire combat zone. We call it a suppression field. You experienced it when we rescued our medical team. We could have destroyed both your forces easily, but we chose not to. Both commanders shifted uncomfortably. You have this power? Ixthera asked carefully. And you use it only for defense? Yes, Minji said. We have many powerful technologies. Weapons that could level cities, ships that could blockade planets. But we choose to build hospitals instead of battleships. We choose to heal instead of harm. That is not weakness. That is strength. Vorgath laughed bitterly. You are fools. You could dominate this sector. Conquer entire systems. Instead, you play nurse to the dying. We could, Minji agreed. But we remember what happened when we did those things. We remember the wars that almost destroyed our world, the weapons that killed billions. We learned that conquest brings only more war. Only more death. She leaned forward, her eyes intense. You can call us weak if it makes you feel strong. But understand this. The compassion will not leave. We will continue treating the wounded. We will continue protecting civilians. And if either of your forces fires on this ship or any refugee population, you will discover exactly how much power we have been choosing not to use. The silence stretched long and tense. Finally, Ixthera spoke. And if we order our forces to avoid your operations, will you continue to treat our wounded? Yes, Minji said. Everyone who comes to us for help will receive it. Vorgath growled low in his chest. This is madness. You gain nothing from this. We gain everything, Minji said softly. We gain the knowledge that we did the right thing, that we helped when we could, that we stayed true to what we believe. Can you say the same about this war? Neither commander had an answer for that. The communication ended. Minji let out a long breath she had been holding. Her hands were shaking slightly. She had just threatened two of the most powerful military forces in this sector, but she meant every word. Down in the medical bay, Junho was showing Rin how to use some of the basic medical scanners. The boy was fascinated by the technology. He asked endless questions about how each device worked. Can you teach me to use all of this? Rin asked. It takes years of study, Junho said. But yes, if you want to learn, we can teach you. Rin's face lit up. I want to be a doctor. Like you and Dr. Hana and Dr. Taewan. I want to help people with kind tools. Junho felt warmth spread through his chest. This child who had lost everything was choosing hope. Choosing to build instead of destroy. That is a wonderful dream, Rin. We will help you achieve it. Asha appeared in the doorway. She was walking on her own now, growing stronger every day. She smiled at seeing her son so happy. Thank you, she said to Junho, for giving him hope again, for giving us both a future. You earned it by surviving, Junho said, by staying strong. An alarm suddenly blared through the ship. Red lights flashed. Junho's communicator activated immediately. All personnel, battle stations. Both hostile fleets are converging on this position. Prepare for possible engagement. Junho's blood ran cold. He looked at Asha and Rin. Go to the children's ward now. It is the most protected part of the ship. What is happening? Rin asked, fear returning to his eyes. The war is coming here, Junho said. But we will be safe. I promise. Yunji appeared, moving quickly through the corridor. I will take them, she said. Oh, they need doctors at emergency stations. Junho squeezed Rin's shoulder. Be brave. Remember, humans do not give up. He ran toward the bridge. Other crew members rushed past him, everyone moving to their assigned positions. The Compassion had defense systems, but they were designed to protect, not attack. If both fleets decided to destroy them, it would be difficult to survive. On the bridge, Captain Minji was coordinating with her officers. The main view screen showed both fleets, massive and intimidating. They are not targeting us, the tactical officer reported. They are positioning to fight each other. But we are right in the middle of their formation. Hail them again, Minji ordered. Both of them. Vorgath and Ixthera appeared once more on the holographic display. What are you doing? Minji demanded. You are putting thousands of civilians at risk. We are finishing this war, Vorgath said. Move your ship or be destroyed. We will not move, Minji said. There are 10,000 patients on this vessel. Patients from your own forces. Are you willing to kill your own people? Acceptable losses, Ixthara said coldly. Minji felt rage boil inside her. These commanders saw their own soldiers as disposable, as numbers, not lives. Then you force my hand, she said quietly. She nodded to her tactical officer. Activate the defensive array. Full power. The Compassion's energy systems hummed to life. The ship began to glow with blue light. An enormous shield bubble expanded outward, surrounding not just the medical vessel but extending down to protect a large portion of the planet below. Both fleet commanders stared in shock. What is this? Vorgath demanded. This shield can withstand anything your weapons can produce, Minji said. And it will remain active until you both agree to a ceasefire. You wanted to know how much power humanity has? This is a fraction of it. We use it to protect, not destroy. But make no mistake, we can protect forever. Can you afford to keep fighting? The fleets opened fire. Weapons that could destroy cities hit the shield and dispersed harmlessly. The Compassion did not move, did not waver. Inside the ship, patients felt the impacts. They heard the sounds of war outside. But they were safe. The shield held. Rin stood in the children's ward, watching through the window as weapons fire lit up space like terrible fireworks. Other children cried and held each other, but Rin remembered what Junho taught him. The humans will protect us, he told the others. Their tools are kind. They will not let us die. For hours the battle raged. Both fleets threw everything they had at the shield. It did not break. It did not fail. Human engineering held firm. Eventually the weapons fire slowed, then stopped. Both fleets were exhausted, their ammunition spent, their energy reserves depleted. Minji opened communications again. Are you ready to talk now? Vorgath looked tired, defeated. What do you want, human? He stepped forward, his voice growing stronger. You bought 3 months past. The ceasefire held, fragile but real. The Krell and Thaxar had not made peace, but they had stopped killing each other. It was a start. On Velis Prime, reconstruction had begun. Human engineering teams worked alongside Velisian survivors, rebuilding what war had destroyed. They did not just repair buildings. They improved them. Made them stronger, safer, better than before. Rin stood in what used to be his neighborhood. Where his house once stood, there was now a medical clinic. Human and Velisian workers had built it together in just 6 weeks. It was small, but equipped with advanced technology. A place where his people could receive care. Junho stood beside him, watching workers put the finishing touches on the building. What do you think? It is beautiful, Rin said. But I miss my home. I know, Junho said gently. You will always miss it. But this can be a new home. A better one, maybe. Rin nodded slowly. He had grown in the past months. Not just taller, but wiser. He had seen the worst of what people could do to each other. But he had also seen the best, Dr. Junho, Rin said. When can I start my real medical training? Junho smiled. You already have. Everything you have learned these past months counts. Watching surgeries. Helping with patients. Learning anatomy. That is all part of becoming a doctor. But I want to learn more, Rin said eagerly. I want to be like you and Dr. Hana and Dr. Taewon. I want to help people. Then you will, Junho promised. We are establishing a medical academy here on Velis Prime. Humans and Velisians will teach together. You will be in the first class. Rin's face lit up with joy. Then his expression turned serious. Will you be one of the teachers? Yes, Junho said. I am staying here. I requested permanent assignment to Velis Prime. Someone needs to help rebuild the medical infrastructure. Thank you, Rin whispered. For everything. Elsewhere on the planet, something unexpected was happening. A Krell soldier, badly wounded in the final days of fighting, had been left behind by his unit. Velisian civilians found him dying in the ruins. They did not kill him. They did not leave him to die. They brought him to the human medical clinic. Hana was there when they arrived. She looked at the Krell warrior, then at the Velisians who carried him. These people had every reason to hate the Krell, to want revenge. Please help him, one of the Velisians said. We do not want more death. Hana felt tears in her eyes. These people had learned the lesson. Of course we will help him. The surgery took hours. The Krell warrior's injuries were severe, but Hana had learned a lot about Krell biology over the past months. She had treated hundreds of them on the Compassion. When the soldier finally woke, he looked around in confusion. He saw a human doctor, Velisian civilians, He tried to reach for a weapon, but he was too weak. Rest, Hana said firmly. You are in a medical facility. You are safe. Safe? The soldier rumbled. But I am Krell. You are my enemy. You were a soldier, Hana corrected. Now you are a patient. And I do not have enemies. I have people who need help. The Krell warrior stared at her. Why, my people destroyed this world. Why do you save me? Because you are alive, Hana said simply. Because you can choose to be different, to do better. A Velician woman approached the bed. She was old, her face marked with grief. My son died when Krell bombs fell on our city, she said quietly. The warrior looked away, ashamed. I could hate you, the old woman continued. I could want revenge. But the humans taught us something. Hate does not bring back the dead. Revenge does not heal wounds. Only kindness does. Only forgiveness. She placed a gentle hand on the warrior's scaled arm. So I forgive you, not because you deserve it, but because I choose to be better than my pain. The Krell warrior, trained for war since hatching, began to cry. Not tears of water, but a clear fluid that served the same purpose. No one had ever shown him mercy before. News of this moment spread. It reached the Krell fleet. It reached Commander Vorgath himself. The commander sat in his quarters thinking. He remembered the battle where he was wounded. How Sergeant Doyun's team saved him. How human doctors treated him on the Compassion. How a Velician child named Rin spoke about strength and kindness. Vorgath had commanded armies for 50 years. He had conquered planets, destroyed enemies, built an empire on the backs of the weak. But what had it given him? More war, more death, more emptiness. He made a decision that shocked his entire fleet. He requested a meeting with the Velician leaders and the human mediators. When they gathered, he did something a Krell commander had never done before. He apologized. The Krell Dominion has done terrible things to your people, Vorgath said, his voice heavy. We saw your planet as a resource. Your people as obstacles. We were wrong. The Velician elders sat in stunned silence. I cannot undo what was done, Vorgath continued. I cannot bring back your dead, but I can ensure it does not happen again. The Krell will withdraw from Velis Prime. We will provide resources to help rebuild, and we will learn from the humans. Learn what? One elder asked cautiously. That strength without honor is just cruelty, Vorgath said. That power without purpose is just destruction. The humans have shown us a better way. I intend to follow it. This moment changed everything. The Thaxar collective, not wanting to appear less honorable than the Krell, also withdrew from Velis Prime. They too offered resources for reconstruction. Both empires agreed to formal peace negotiations. The war that had raged for 3 years ended not with a final battle, but with a choice. A choice to stop, to heal, to try something different. 5 years later, Rin walked through the halls of the Velis Medical Academy. He wore the uniform of a senior student. In 1 year, he would graduate. He would become a doctor. The academy was beautiful. A joint project of humans, Velicians, and surprisingly, both Krell and Thaxar, former enemies, now worked together, teaching the next generation of healers. Rin's class was diverse. Humans, Velicians, even some young Krell and Thaxar, all learning medicine, all learning to heal instead of harm. He found Junho in his office. The doctor had gray in his hair now, but his smile was the same. Rin, good to see you. How was the advanced surgery exam? I passed, Rin said proudly. Dr. Taewon said my suturing was perfect. I never doubted it, Junho said. You have become an excellent student. A skilled healer. I am proud of you. Rin sat down across from him. I wanted to thank you. For everything. You saved my life. You saved my mother. You saved my people. You saved me from becoming something dark and angry. You saved yourself, Junho said. You chose hope over hate. That was all you. You showed me the way, Rin insisted, when you answered my question. Your question? If your tools would be kinder than their swords, Rin said. Do you remember? I remember, Junho said softly. I think about that moment often. I was so scared that day, Rin said. I thought all technology was evil. All power was corrupt. But you showed me the truth. Tools are not good or evil. People are. And people can choose to be good. Junho smiled. You have learned well. I want to pay it forward, Rin said. I want to teach others what you taught me. That medicine is not just about healing bodies. It is about healing souls, about choosing kindness even when it is hard. Then you are already a great doctor, Junho said, because you understand what matters most. That afternoon, they walked together through the memorial garden outside the academy. It was a beautiful place, filled with bioluminescent plants that Valesian artists had created. At night, the garden glowed with soft light, a testament to what Valesian culture had been before the war. Children played in the garden, their laughter filling the air. Human children, Valesian children, even some Krell and Thaxar young, all playing together, all friends. This is what we fought for, Junho said, watching them. Not territory, not resources, just this. Children playing, people living without fear, the chance for a better future. You did more than stop a war, Rin said. You taught the galaxy something new. That strength is not about dominating others. It is about protecting them. That the greatest weapon is compassion. A young Valesian girl ran up to them, her hands glowing with light. Dr. Rin, Dr. Juno, look what I made. She showed them a light picture she had created. It depicted the compassion surrounded by stars. That is beautiful, Rin said. What is it? It is the hospital ship that saved us, the girl said. My mother told me about it. How the humans came with kind tools. How they refused to leave even when it was dangerous. I want to be like them when I grow up. She ran off to show other children her creation. Rin and Junho exchanged smiles. The story spreads, Junho said. A new generation that grows up knowing there is another way. That power can be gentle. The tools can be kind. Because humans showed them, Rin said. You came to our world when we needed you most. You asked for nothing in return. You just helped. Junho looked at the sky where the compassion still orbited. It was smaller now. Most refugees had gone home or found new homes, but it remained a symbol of hope. We did what anyone should do, Junho said. We helped because we could, because we remembered what it was like to need help and not receive it. We will not be that species. We will not look away. Rin pulled out a small device from his pocket. It was a medical scanner, similar to the one Junho had used on that first day. You gave me this when I started my training. A ceasefire, Minji said. Negotiations. A chance for peace. That is all we have ever wanted. And the ceasefire lasted exactly 12 days. Rin was in the learning center when the alarm started again. He had been studying basic medicine with other refugee children, learning about anatomy and healing. Dr. Taewon was teaching them how to properly bandage wounds when the red lights began flashing. Everyone to the safe zones, Taewon said calmly, though Rin could see worry in his eyes. Quickly but carefully. No running. The children moved together, following the human staff through familiar corridors. They had practiced this drill before, but this time felt different. This time felt real. On the bridge, Captain Minji watched in horror as sensors showed what was happening below. The Krell had launched a surprise attack on Thaxar positions near the largest remaining Valesian city. But the Thaxar response was worse than anyone expected. They released biological weapons into the atmosphere, weapons that spread like clouds of death. Captain, her science officer reported, voice shaking. Those bioweapons are not species-specific. They will kill Krell, Thaxar, and Valesians, everything with a respiratory system. How long until it reaches the city? Minji asked. 6 hours. Maybe less, 6 hours. There were still nearly 1 million Valesians in that city. Too many to evacuate in time. Minji made her decision instantly. Deploy all atmospheric drones. Medical configuration. Have them disperse the counteragent. Captain, her first officer said carefully. We only have one counteragent protocol. We developed it for human biology. We do not know if it will work on Valesians. We have to try, Minji said. Send a message to Dr. Taewon. I need him to modify that counteragent fast. In the medical research lab, Taewon received the message. He looked at the data on the biological weapon and felt sick. It was designed to cause slow, painful death. Whoever created this had wanted victims to suffer. I need Valesian genetic data, he said to his team. Everything we have learned from treating Asha and the others. We have 6 hours to create a counteragent that works for them. That is impossible, one of his assistants said. We would need weeks of testing. Then we work fast and pray we are right, Taewon said. Because if we are wrong, 1 million people die. News of the attack spread through the ship. Asha heard about it and immediately went to find Taewon. She found him in the lab surrounded by displays showing complex chemical formulas. My people, she said. They are in danger. I am working on a cure, Taewon said. But I need your help. I need to understand your biology better. Will you let me run some tests? Test whatever you need, Asha said without hesitation. Use me however you must. Just save them. For the next 4 hours, Taewon worked like a man possessed. He tested, he calculated. He modified and adjusted. Asha sat patiently as he drew blood, scanned her body, analyzed her cells. Every piece of data helped him understand how the poison would affect Velician biology. Rin came to the lab, refusing to leave his mother. He watched Taewon work, saw the intense focus, the desperate determination. This was what it meant to be a doctor. To fight death itself with knowledge and skill. Will it work? Rin asked quietly. I do not know, Taewon admitted, but I have to try. With 1 hour left before the bioweapon reached the city, Taewon finished. He had created a modified counteragent. Theory said it should work, but theory was not certainty. Deploy it, Minji ordered when he reported. It is our only chance. Hundreds of drones launched from the Compassion. They flew down through the atmosphere, spreading the counteragent in a protective cloud over the Velician city. The people below looked up, seeing the human machines that had come to save them. On the sensors, they watched as the bioweapon cloud approached. It met the counteragent. The two clouds mixed together. Everyone on the bridge held their breath. The bioweapon dissolved. The counteragent worked. The city was saved. A cheer erupted on the bridge. Taewon slumped in his chair, exhausted and relieved. Asha hugged him tightly, tears streaming down her face. You saved my people, she whispered. How can we ever thank you? No thanks needed, Taewon said. This is what we do. But the relief was short-lived. Both the Krell and Thaxar were furious that humans had interfered. They saw it as taking sides. Both fleets moved toward the Compassion with clear hostile intent. They are targeting us, the tactical officer reported. Both of them. Minji knew the shield could not hold forever against 2 full fleets, not while also protecting the planet. She had one option left, one she had hoped never to use. Send the emergency signal, she said quietly. Request military support from Terran Defense Command. The message went out, traveling faster than light through quantum communication. On Earth, in the Terran Defense Headquarters, alarms sounded. A human hospital ship was under direct threat. Admiral Sung-ho received the report and made his decision in seconds. Mobilize the 5th Fleet. Maximum speed. Anyone who threatens our medical personnel answers to me. The Terran Defense Fleet was not like the Compassion. These were military vessels designed for war. They had weapons that could crack planets and shields that could withstand stars going nova. But humanity rarely used them, until now. The fleet arrived in a flash of blue light. 20 massive warships appeared in formation around the Compassion. They made the Krell and Thaxar fleets look small by comparison. Admiral Sung-ho's voice boomed across all frequencies. This is Admiral Sung-ho of the Terran Defense Force. You are threatening a protected medical vessel and civilian populations. Stand down immediately or face military action. Vorgath appeared on communication channels. You dare threaten us? Your species is barely out of its own system. And yet, Sung-ho said calmly, here we are, with ships that make yours look like toys. We have been holding back, Commander. Being peaceful. Being kind. Do not mistake that for weakness. To demonstrate, one of the Terran ships fired a warning shot, not at either fleet, at an uninhabited moon in the system. The weapon struck. The moon shattered into dust. Both alien fleets went silent. That was a warning, Sung-ho said. Our weapons can do that to ships, to stations, to anything we choose to target. But we choose not to. We choose to use our power for protection. However, if you force our hand, we will defend our people and those under our protection. Ixthera's voice came through, lacking its usual confidence. You have been hiding this power? Not hiding, Sung-ho corrected. Simply not using. We learned long ago that having power and using power are different things. We have enough weapons to conquer this entire sector, but we would rather build hospitals. He paused, letting that sink in. Now you have a choice. Continue this war and face humanity as an enemy, or accept our offer of mediation and find peace. Choose wisely. Inside the Compassion, Rin watched through the viewports as the massive human warships surrounded them. They were beautiful and terrible at the same time, tools that could destroy or protect depending on who wielded them. They came to save us, Rin said to his mother, even knowing they might have to fight. Yes, Asha said. That is what makes them special. They have all this power, but they use it only when they must, only to protect. On the planet below, Junho and Hana were leading medical teams through the city that had nearly been destroyed by bioweapons. Valesians emerged from their shelters, grateful and amazed. An elderly Valesian approached Junho. "You saved us. Your people saved us. Why?" Junho smiled tiredly. "Because you needed saving. Is that not enough?" "But you risked war with both sides," the old one said. "You could have let us die and remained safe." "We could have," Junho agreed. "But then we would not be who we are. We would just be another species that looks away when people suffer. We refuse to be that." Throughout the city, human medical teams worked alongside Valesian survivors. They treated injuries. They distributed food and clean water. They helped rebuild shelters. And slowly, the Valesians began to understand. Humans were not like the Krell or Thaxar. They did not conquer. They did not dominate. They helped. They healed. They stayed when others would have left. Back in orbit, tense negotiations began. Admiral Sungho insisted both sides talk to each other, with human mediators present. Commander Vorgath and Ambassador Ixthera agreed, though both were reluctant. The meetings took place on a neutral station. Minji attended, representing the Relief Corps. Sungho represented the military, and surprisingly, they brought Rin. "Why am I here?" Rin asked nervously. He was just a child. What could he contribute? "Because you asked the right question," Minji said. "You asked if our tools would be kinder than their swords. Now you can see the answer. You can tell them what you have learned." In the negotiation room, Vorgath and Ixthera sat across from each other, centuries of hatred between them. Sungho and Minji sat at the head of the table, and Rin stood beside them, small but unafraid. "Why are we listening to a child?" Vorgath growled. "Because children see truth more clearly than adults," Sungho said. "They have not learned to lie to themselves yet." Rin looked at both commanders. He remembered the Krell soldiers who destroyed his city, the Thaxar weapons that nearly killed his mother. But he also remembered something else. "I was in the medical bay," Rin said quietly. "I saw humans treating Krell soldiers, repairing Thaxar warriors, saving Valesian families, all in the same place, all with the same care.